Brittany Smith. I'm from Jacksonville, Florida, Senior Business Administration major.
Hello, my name is Lucas Atkins with a K. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, finance major.
Hi, my name is Yamina Chestnut. I am from Paterson, New Jersey, graduating senior with business administration major.
Good evening, my name is Jose Plazas. I am from Bogota, Colombia, in South America. I am a student at the Tucumán University, majoring in finance and minoring in business administration. We are Group 1 and we're going to present about the Dakota Access Pipeline YjuAUR project. So first of all, what is it about? The Dakota Access Pipeline project is one of the most controversial cases in the United States oil industry. It was first created in 2014 and it was going to take place in the Lake Ohio in the Missouri River. It's one of the largest pipelines in the United States with a length of 1,172 miles. The project status and strengths. Their major technology advances is one of their major strengths because it provides some future efficiency transportation of the product by the pipelines, as well as the development of the infrastructure will promote greater energy independence around the country.
The economic benefits of the pipeline would be access to household fuel, as well as promoting good jobs in the area. And the gas and oil prices would also decrease due to the supply and benefiting customers in a local area. From a personal aspect, I have a brother that actually worked in South Dakota when oil was struck, and he was making over 120K a year being a project manager for a oil construction company. The pros of the YjuAUR project: it will make transporting oil from North Dakota to major refining markets more safer and more cost efficient and more environmental friendly. The pipeline will also free up railroad to transport crops and other products required by crude oil cargoes.
The YjuAUR weaknesses. The success of the performance is not really guaranteed. So they wanted to consider all costs when working on a project. They will have to know the pros and the cons, and considering this, there will not be a 100% success rate when doing this project. Also, the length of the pipelines create a higher demand of workers, which will increase the probability of mistakes occurring. So you may have some workers that may not be really experienced in the area of working in that particular project. So with that being said, some workers there may be some errors when trying to construct a project. So with that and considering the fact that the project won't be 100% successful, you have to consider what type of workers do you want to work on that particular project. And in addition, the contract is on hold, confusing the society and creating fear for the future. So when thinking about this project, you will have to think about the future. So how would this project affect people, the society, the environment in the future in regards to right now? Yeah, it may seem like a successful project because you have more money, and like my classmates did it earlier, it would decrease gas prices. So yeah, that would maybe a pro, but you have to look into what could happen in the future. Another con would be the Dakota Access Pipeline threatens the water supply and the Standing Rock and millions of people downstream. So you have to also take in consideration about who lives in the surrounding areas where you want the project to be, and also how it could affect them, how it could affect their living situations, and how could it benefit them as well. The Dakota Access Pipeline will worsen the climate change by pumping hundreds of thousands of gallons of shale oil to market daily. So With that, it has to do a lot with climate change. So with that in the, your atmosphere, you will have to take in consideration any health conditions. So when considering the project, there is a lot to consider other than the pros. There's a lot of cons, and that could affect people. That could affect their health and their living situations, as well as anything that goes to where, like, if they're farmers, it could affect anything in that.
Global warming,
Mhm.
it can possibly affect the air. People can get sick, and also the crops, just like we said with farmers. The global warming and the climate, it can affect the crops, and then those crops can be sold to let's say grocery stores or farmers markets, and we'll eat those crops and we can become sick.
As Brittany said, we have to think in the future. So if there is any kind of harm that it cannot be fixed right now, it will possibly affecting the economy of the country in a couple of years later.
Yes. And as well, this may be a good decision as well, as you said, for the country and as for Texas. But like we said, we have to consider all costs.
All right, next we're going to get into the possible harms of the DAPL project. The Standing Rock Sells tribe, which has been living in the area since 1868, will be directly harmed by this project. A spill of oil crude into the Missouri River will be harmful to animals and humans and could lose their lives. Recently, the most recent oil spill would have been the Gulf of Mexico, which happened about April 20th of 2010, so a couple years back. As she stated, usually with this oil spill, you're going to see gas prices, fluctuate through the ceiling, and
it will harm like a lot of animals. Back when the oil spill did happen, the company Dawn, they had to partner with a lot of the people in the area to help the animals, because a lot of them were dying from the oil.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the animals actually could not swim in the water because the oil was so thick.
Yeah, and then as you saw from the commercials, if anybody saw the Dawn commercials, you were seeing how the animals were definitely affected. But as you said, Dawn did play a big role into trying to, recuperate not only the animals but the environment as a whole. And there were volunteers. My uncle was a volunteer, trying to, make sure that all of the oil was out of the water, because that did also play a big role in the environment and the community.
So to continue, the project has been in hold since 2014, but after 2016, Donald Trump decided to take out the hold and keep going into the process. And he personally ordered the Army Corps in order to keep working into the pipelines and start the project again.
Project evaluation. The creation of the pipelines would destroy the part of the Missouri River. So, as we said, we said that the Gulf of Mexico, the river in Mexico, how the explosion had affected the water. There's a great chance, since I stated before, that there's not 100% succession rate. There's also in consideration of how the pipeline could destroy Missouri's river. So what happened in Mexico could happen in Missouri. So you have to take considerations of that, and as well as the tribe that lives around that area.
And that's the Standing Rock 6 tribe.
So if any local residents want to consume from this water, they won't be able to use it because it's going to be harmed them.
And the project is very risky for the shareholders' capital.
When it comes to the shareholders' capital, basically, they can invest a lot of money in this, and the project can get turned around basically like it is right now, and they can lose billions of dollars because of this.
Right. So there's a lot to consider, really, when making decisions. And as the president, the president, he's thinking about a lot of money, how this is a great idea for money, but you have to consider all costs and people and the environment.
And you also have to think ethical wise of individuals. Like, the project will create society in a really negative way, and we don't want that.
And taking a look into the political and ethical analysis, the project will create society's negative impact. There will be a decrease in political credibility as well as the decisions that Donald Trump will take in this project, and there will be possible doubtful presidential decisions.
So our recommendations as a group is the rejection of Trump's decision.
The project is considered dangerous for the local society and the animal population.
Yeah, so there are not enough assurances of success. So as we stated before, she stated the animals, he stated the Gulf of Mexico oil, and I had stated that it is not 100% successful. Well, it may not be 100% successful. So that was the reason we kind of, decided not to go with Trump's decision.
Nowadays, as we know, environmental preservation should be a must in every society and a priority for every decision.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So much.